Are we live yet?
Are we live? I think we are. Yes. Hello.
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 Everyone say fire ants if you can hear me.
Fire ants, if you can hear me.
If the game's too loud, do let us know.
Yeah, but we can't make changes like for a few days now.
Everyone's saying fire ants. I think that means they can hear me.
Yes.
Okay. Fantastic. Right. Okay. I should probably open the stream myself to have a look, shouldn't I?
Mm.
Yeah, I haven't got it open either.
No.
I was.
Okay. I can kind of keep an eye on chat as well, but it's going so fast that it's going to kind of pick up a random comment. B Reviews says fire ants. Orion says yay. Medin Burnick says A. Me-Man says heck yes. All right, okay. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Fire Ant launch stream. Glad you could join us. Okay, so I'm Mike, Slug Disco Community Manager. With me today, we've got John below me down there, who is one of the lead developers and directors of the game, and Liam, who's going to be joining us throughout most of this live stream as well. Up there, he's also one of the directors and lead developers on the game. In a short while, we'll have a chat with Matt as well. We'll bring him in a few minutes, and we're just going to go over a bit of stuff. But can we just call this live stream just taking a little bit of a breather just before we launch the thing?
I've got the live stream open on YouTube, and Matt appears to be missing.
Yes, that's fine.
That can be on.
Oh, that's normal, is it?
Do you want me to turn it
Sorry,
on?
I wasn't listening.
I don't mind being on.
There you go.
I knew Matt was the kind of person who probably wouldn't want to be on a lot in front of 563 viewers. Yeah.
Is that how many there are? Wow.
Okay, yeah, let's just have us all in. Yeah, but
I love all those viewers.
As soon as your bit's done, Matt, you can go and I don't know, whatever.
I feel.
I think it sounds like we're torturing him.
I'm quite. You know what? It's just jealousy. I didn't want Liam to be on, and not me to be on. So as long as Liam's here, I'm staying.
As soon as it was unequal, yeah. Right. Okay, everyone. Yes. It's been a long road getting from there to here. But the time of the fire ants is finally near.
Don't do that. No.
I've been thinking about that for years, Liam. Right. Okay. So the way this is going to work, guys, we're just going to have a bit of a chat about stuff, like Liam's favourite colour.
Well, I think what we should do first is have a vote whether we have a chat about stuff or just release now.
Sure, I can do a poll for that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let's do a poll. Poll. Talk. And then shut up or talk. Shut up and release. Talk. There you go. Ask your community. Right. I wonder what they're going to vote for.
I didn't even realise that was it. Oh, right, okay. I'm going with talk. I want to have a chat.
Yeah, so do I.
I missed this.
Oh,
look.
Okay. 69%. Nice. Want us to shut up and release. Okay. Right. So, first things first then. The Fire Ant update is by far the biggest update that we've added to Empires of the Undergrowth. I think it dwarfs, not necessarily in terms of time it'll take to complete, but in terms of effort that's been put in, amount of new things, amount of new systems and improved old systems. I think it's 3 to 5 times as complex and big as the Leafcutter update. I'm pretty sure these guys would agree.
Yeah.
Feels that way, doesn't it?
yeah.
It does. Just because they're not here, I'll talk about now the rest of our team. In the meantime, Dan joined us as our marketing manager. Was it a couple of years ago now?
November 2020, I think.
Yeah, and he's kind of brought us in a completely new way of thinking about marketing because we weren't really sure what we were doing.
You mean TikTok?
Wait, is it
mainly TikTok? Yeah, which none of us understand.
He's organised us very well.
Yes, he has,
Yeah.
and he knew a lot of the stuff that we didn't. He came from a background of that, so that was nice. We also had Dan C, the other Dan. You have to be called Dan to join the Slug Disco team. who is our dedicated environment artist, and he's worked closely with Matt. And I'm certainly of the opinion that the game has never looked as good as it does in Tier 4, to the extent that it kind of puts some of the older stuff to shame.
Well, I feel like you're just having a dig at me now, personally. I feel slightly offended. But I'll let it go.
You didn't go to university to be an environment artist, did you?
No.
You went to be an IT professional.
An IT professional? Is that what you were going
computer
for?
scientist?
Yeah,
IT professional.
I have just insulted every computer scientist on the planet.
Yeah.
Yeah, just calling them an IT professional. Yeah, okay. Yeah, and
See,
then,
we're not looking at any of Dancy's stuff on the screen at the moment. I should point
we're
out.
not.
He did this, didn't he? The texture for the fire ant floor.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, is that the new one?
A little bit, yes.
Yeah. There's a few bits here, but obviously we don't want to boot up one of the new levels, guys, because we're so close. We'd rather you just play it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're literally 40 minutes away. And I'll also talk about Beth, who's been with us for the past few months. She's our 2D artist.
Yeah, we broke our hiring policy of only Dans.
Yes. Beth ended that streak, which I'm a bit sad about somehow. Yeah,
We can pick it back up again.
yeah. In a bit, John. Do you think we can show maybe some of the icons that she's added?
Yeah.
Because she's completely revamped the icons. That's something we could do. That's not really a spoiler, isn't it?
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
create a
and we
new
could do
form area.
it behind the scenes, and we could show the meat wall, the one that didn't in.
Oh, that was a whole debate, wasn't it, for a while?
Yeah, icons are difficult. When the more icons you have for ant-related things, the harder it is to come up with what to actually draw.
Everyone's saying, "Shut up and release. Just release now, please."
Yeah.
That was a bit of a
But
joke.
I
guys,
think
to be
we
honest.
had a poll, and it was 69% in favour of chatting, as I recall.
That's what I read.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
silent majority that we're listening to.
Well, that sounds almost political there, Liam. I don't really want to go there, to be honest.
Sorry.
Yeah, but that was a bit of a joke, guys. I mean, we've got kind of embargoes and all sorts of things. We have to release at 6. Yeah, and I know that. Yeah, I apologise for anyone who saw 5 yesterday. That was just a bit of a cross wire in that. Yeah, internally, but it's fine. It's been sorted now. You've only got 38 more minutes to wait. Right. Okay. Let's have a bit of a chat with Matt then. Yeah. So let's.
This is where I join. Okay.
Yeah,
You're going
yeah,
first,
you're
man.
in,
Do you
Yeah.
want me to fade you out and back in?
So
There you go.
I think obviously a lot of the things that you've been dealing with, Matt, are creature related. But I think it's fair to say that you're our kind of engine specialist, aren't you? You're the one who kind of delves into areas that no one else really wants to. Which kind of
Usually, I would say
a little
that's
bit afraid
correct.
to. Yeah, because if you upset things in a system as complex as Unreal Engine, there can be unforeseen consequences.
It's not just Unreal Engine. We've been working on this now for so many years that every time you pull one thread, the whole thing starts to loosen up, and it's like fighting a constant fire.
Sure.
It's fun though. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the more complex new things is the Titan climbing system. But I think people should understand that both the Titan climbing system and indeed the bridge building system are both kind of offshoots of the leafcutter climbing system, aren't they?
Yeah, the basic system. I call it the cart system. The ants transfer themselves into an invisible cart that's going up and down and around either the bridge, the plant with the leafcutters, or the creature. What Titan? Can we talk about all the Titans? I don't have to. I'll say both.
Yeah, we've got
Not all the Titans.
the 2 Titans in this update. Yeah, Tier 5 has some Titans as well, obviously. But the Titans in this update are the Bullfrog, the American Bullfrog, and the Great Blue Skimmer. The Bullfrog is the biggest creature that's ever going to be in the game. And the Skimmer is a gigantic dragonfly, which kind of... I think we found an emergent thing, didn't we, Matt, when you included its shadows in its wings in the shadows, and it became this looming presence over the map, which just passes over you, and it's kind of something that we didn't really plan, but it's a nice.
Yeah, I remember that. Originally, I hadn't got the wings casting shadows at all, so you just had this dragonfly body shadow, didn't you? Zooming around. I didn't realise it was going to moving around above the map as much as it does in the game.
Absolutely.
So of course it made sense to include the wing shadows then. I think it looks it's quite a nice effect.
It was a nice example of something which we didn't plan for, but we saw it and thought that was great. So yeah. Okay. So also, obviously, I mentioned earlier on Dan C, who's under your, I want to say control. That's not really the right word. Is it?
Supervision.
Under your supervision. That's right. Why did I immediately go to control? Under your supervision, yeah. Who's done, I think, all of the environment work apart from some kind of
really?
kind of, yeah.
It would be fair to say he's done all the environment work. Maybe there's a couple of assets. Yeah, optimizations, that's more engine size, that's my stuff. I always end up doing that.
Yeah, the last few pages of commits on the source, I'm not going to show you guys obviously, but the last few pages are just optimization. That's all Matt stuff, yeah.
It's ongoing as well. Quite a few optimizations lined up for the next couple of weeks. It's going to be a great time for all.
I also want to talk about how the creature artwork in this tier, I think, is again a lot better than previously, and it's something that comes up now. And I think it's just a case of you getting better at your craft. Would you say?
Sometimes I surprise myself. I'll go into the level or something, and the frog is always the frog and the toad. I love the way the toad looks. The
narrow-mouthed toad.
Oh, no, it's not.
Yeah.
I can't remember what's.
Yeah,
I love the way the narrow-mouthed toad looks. And the frog, I'm quite happy with how they turned out when I see them every time. But yeah, sometimes I'll just be surprised at how well things turned out, and wonder if I could actually do it again just as well or not. But I don't have to do it again, fortunately.
Some people have said, like, again, this is not a dig at you, Matt, but like you compare it to, say, let's say the Formica Fusca Queen, which is an interesting looking animal in our game. Yeah.
I have there's a possibility I might have another go at her at some point.
You just instigated that, Mike. Did you realise you've created a horrible seed now? That's
I
needs
had
to be
already
done.
planned.
Right. All right.
When I have a simple bug to fix, and I need to get a level quickly and create an environment to test the bug in. I normally go to level 1 or 1 2 with the Formica Fusca Queen. So I see her probably more than any other queen in the game, and it does bother me every time I see her. So good chance I'll give her an overhaul soon.
Fair enough. Okay, we're nearly at past already. Blimey. Okay, onto Liam then. I better do that. Okay, so how about we talk, Liam, about algorithms? How about we talk about pathfinding algorithms?
Yeah, let's do that. Instead of releasing the game, let's all chat about pathfinding algorithms.
Why don't I put some of the new music on?
Stick some music on. That's a great idea. Yeah, some of music from 4.1 maybe.
Yeah. So hang on, I'm just gonna make sure I don't.
Can John do that? Does he have that power?
Yeah, I'm just gonna make sure I don't show anything. Let me bring them back. So 4.1.
Release my dad, please.
That doesn't make sense.
Good idea, chat.
Oh, we're talking about pathfinding algorithms, and that could take a while. We might have to push back release because I have a lot to talk about on the subject of algorithms. I just need to get my voice into a nice monotone sort of rhythmic drone before I start working into it.
In between, and it was a big point in my interim videos between original release and Leaf Cutters, there was an overhaul of movement code, I believe, during that time. But I'm right in thinking there's been a larger one in between Leaf Cutters and Fire Ant. Yeah,
so in between the original to Leaf Cutters, that was us trying to squeeze more performance out. Hang on, what's going on the screen? John stopped playing, and there's a
I can't show 4.1. I'm just
right. So you're opening it up.
Just going to play the music. Yeah. We're just going to have a chat.
Yeah. So there was an initial upgrade, and we were trying to get more performance out of it, but we were really sort of just hacking away at what we had, and we were trying to work with the Unreal systems that we've been using and make those more efficient, sort of inject our own little bits here and there, and we got enough performance out of it that we needed for Leafcutter Ants. And then it got to just after Leafcutter and anything else that we wanted to do, like Fire Ant bridges, but I think it might have even been before that. It was to do with shapes that weren't on a hexagonal grid, because we use a lot of hexagons. There was all sort of special rules for how the ants moved around those things, and it was just getting really convoluted and messy. So we started everything again, and it's a lot more lightweight now. It could still be better. It could still be done again. We have to make sure that we don't do that again. But one of the most interesting things for me that we added was a pathfinding algorithm called jump point search. If you're interested in A-star pathfinding, that'd be a nice project to look at. Jump point search. It's much faster.
A-star is the traditional one that you learn in movement code generally, I think. Yes,
yeah.
But the more modern one is jump point.
Well, I think A-star is still much more popular. The thing that you can't do, what jump point does that A-star does that jump point can't, is in A-star you can have weights to your terrain. So like if something's going to move through from A to B, and it can move through, let's say, the swampy texture, and there's a tarmac around it, the shortest route would be through the swamp, but maybe the swamp's got a higher sort of rating, makes you more slow, and the A-star would path around the swamp because that'd be faster. And jump point can't do that. It has to go. It just finds the shortest path. But we don't really have those. We call them nav modifiers in Empires, and we don't really have much of it. What I've done is places where we do have them, it switches from jump point to A-star temporarily, and then back into jump point afterwards.
Innovative.
Just something to note. So some people have actually mentioned that they found in the demo that they can build a lot more ants without it chugging. So it's already, like, the new demo file that was put out earlier today. People are already noticing the improvements to performance. And there's also been another massive improvement performance-wise in the stuff Matt's done with the UI overlays. So the creature health and the tiles, they used to cause a lot of problems, but now they're like a tenth as heavy as they used to be. You can have a lot more on screen without problems anymore.
Yeah, it's I know it's kind of not really an exciting new feature, but I think it's super important to.
Depends on whose computer.
What computer
people have. Some people might find that really exciting.
Well, yeah, I think we probably do all right with our PCs, but a lot of people play it on lower hardware, and it's great that there's a good chance that they'll be able to play more stably now with Matt's changes, and I love seeing that stuff come through. I remember you having a eureka moment, Matt, with the 2D overlays, and that was fantastic, and immediately you could see a good 30% increase in rendering speed, which was fantastic. Music, Liam. Now, I'll mention the point that at one point we were almost ready to kind of leave the music out and kind of release in late May.
Yeah,
we could have forced that out if we wanted to, but there would have been a lot of compromises.
So, yeah, the music is really it's something that ended up left to me because I've got grade 1 trumpet in high school. Right, so back when we started, you have to get music for your game, and I messed around, and I could mess around in Fruity Loops a bit and put something together. So I did that, and that sort of just caught on, and we made this dynamic system that could change the mood of the music, and built all on top of that. But really, music's not the main thing that I do on the game, so I was putting it off, especially because you can kind of guess how long it's going to take to do the music. Each track will take me between 2 and 4 weeks, thereabouts.
Yeah, unlike most tasks, it's fairly predictable in that respect. Yeah.
So everything else can be really unpredictable if you're working on, testing a level for the first time, testing mechanic for the first time, it can go perfectly, or you can actually just lose a month to it, going down, finding chains of problems that you couldn't plan for at all. So everything is more scary than the music. So that got pushed right to the end, and then we were starting to get bothered by getting close to release, and people saying, "Oh, they've been working on the game for years. The music's going to be really good," and it hadn't been touched. So we realised that we were going to have to, do some new tracks for it. So that was probably the main thing that held it up, I think.
Yeah, I think when we decided to join that Save and Sound festival, we're like, we can't leave the music out here.
Yeah.
So it was worth delaying that extra little bit to get the music in. And you'll be glad to know, Liam, and I know you're not really one for reading the comments much, but the little previews we've given of the music have gone down swimmingly.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, just like the ants in Tier 4.
Just like the ants and the amphibians. Okay, and I'm going to discuss it with you as well, Liam, because it's a comedy subject. Sound effects. Is there any chance you could kind of perform one for us now?
Yeah.
Right. Liam is going to perform a dying salamander.
A dying salamander. Usually, I have a bit more sort of. I take a bit of time to get worked. I get a bit of a phlegm build up. Usually.
Get some saliva
when I'm doing a session. So the sound, the way the sound works is, anything that's not an insect, or anything like a real noise an insect makes, like buzzing wings or something that a human can hear, I'll get those from Freesound, usually freesound.org. It's got like loads of sound effects on there that people put up with public domain licenses or Creative Commons licenses that we can use, and some of them are really, really good quality, and just layer a few of those up, you can make all sorts of wonderful stuff. But there's no, sound of a salamander dying. You can't look that up, and you don't really know what to search for.
You don't really want to.
No, what sound? Or what, because if a salamander did die, it probably wouldn't make any noise, or it might make it like a high pitched squeal or something. Or
some insects make a hissing sound, but most of them don't make any sound. Yeah.
So of course, there's got to be sounds in the game. Yeah. So I don't know when it came about that I realised that if I just made growling noises and I sped it up at least 300%, usually 400 to 450%, you get kind of an alien insectoid noise, which is sort of. But I don't know if it fits the game or we force it to fit the game. But it definitely now fits for me. If I hear the insects dying, I'm like, oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a beetle dying. That is. So yeah, it's, when I'm doing a recording, it'll sound something like this. I suppose I'll do. And then if you speed that up, you'll get something. So it's not always good. Sometimes you take half of it, do another one. What I find works well is if you make a rhythmic noise, like just come up with something like, but keep repeating it. And when you speed that up, I can make quite a nice.
Yeah, you're all laughing in chat, but this is how they do it professionally as well. We're giving away trade secrets here.
We are professional. What are you talking about?
Professionals. We've been professionals for years on this now. Yeah. Yeah, honestly, the way you do the creature sounds is one of my favourite things, and I love sharing the couple of videos we've got at it. Always gets a good reaction out of people.
I should just record the next session, shouldn't I? Like the whole thing.
Yeah. I say, Liam, in another life, if you were born a few years earlier, Peter Jackson would have cast you as Gollum just for that noise.
Yeah, but maybe I learnt it from Gollum, so you never know.
Quite possibly, yeah. Andy Serkis is that kind of actor, yeah. Right, okay, we're coming up to 20 minutes until release. I think what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to... I can't keep ice up here, it's warm in this room, so I'm going to go and get some ice for my cocktail shaker there. And in the meantime, you guys...
Talk about some of the new features that are...
Yes. In fact, John, a very special one, if you wouldn't mind showing people, is camera rotation. Yeah.
Okay,
I'll be back in
about
just
some
a
of
minute.
these fun little ones. Okay, I'm going to stop the music from the new Formicarium so we can get the visuals back on.
We didn't hear any music during the whole of that.
No, I think on
Oh, it will have
YouTube
been
we
on
might have
YouTube,
done.
of course.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know what he was playing. Could have been anything.
Okay, so couple of new things to talk about. Let's go back into a extra level. The demo level again, seeing as it's fire ant based. So yeah, there's a handful of new quality of life bits and bobs that I'd like to point out that people may miss or not realize they're there. So the mini maps had a few improvements. If you look, if you look, the tile surfaces are now shown on, or tile surface. The enemies underground are now shown on the mini map, which is useful. And there's a bunch of other things that come with. So the extra level excavators had like moving enemies underground. Those display on the minimap now with like a throbbing red thing to kind of warn you that there's a moving one coming into your vicinity. What was the feature Mike asked me to talk about?
Rotation.
Oh, camera rotation, yes. So a couple of buttons. These will be bindable at some point, but at the minute they're in there. So that's ins and page up, rotate the camera. It snaps back so you don't get confused about the angle, but it allows you to get some interesting angles on some of the levels, or just peek around a corner so you can see exactly what's going on quickly during the action. This button down here, you'll have seen it in Mike's Fire Ant video. It talks about enemy mounting. Now, this is a feature we intend to expand going forwards. So, in the Fire Ant update, the very large creatures, so they're only in the Fire Ant levels, can be climbed to attack them for extra damage. And the mechanic works: the more you've got on the creature, the more damage even creatures on the ground do. So you get extra damage by doing that. You can disable it, which makes sense for things like wood ants. If you disable it for wood ants, they do more damage from the ground when they're firing their spray, rather than when they're on the Titan itself. There's also another mechanic in the fire ant levels, which is to do with Aphid Relocation. So aphids can be moved around, can be brought closer to your nest from far off plants, and they're a resource that keeps on giving. So you can build bridges to them and gather them from far off areas, bring them back, and then it will improve your end game. You can disable that as well if you just want to quickly gather the food from the plants. It is a possibility. So that is another button that will be there in the fire ant levels.
It's important to read some of the tooltips that come up, because the Aphid collection is a little bit involved.
Yeah, it plays a key role in the new levels as well. So if you hover over it, you should be able to get an idea of what it is. A feature that is actually in the demo already, but I want to talk about it because I love the button, but not many people will spot it because it's currently not very well documented. Is the auto build? I think it's called auto build, and it's bound to mouse 3 by default, and it switches your tool to whatever the tile is next to it. So I haven't got any tool selected. I want to expand this room quickly. I can just hold mouse 3 down and click, and it means I don't have to go selecting tools each time.
That's not
Since when has that been a feature?
It's been a feature since I
Steam
worked
Deck?
on the Steam Deck.
Wow.
Since this update, there's controller support as well. It's been on Steam. Controller support's been added to Steam for a little while now, but it is there, so I can control this via a controller if I remember the controls. There we are. We're getting there. There's the quick build, and it actually plays.
Quick build is a proper sweaty RTS feature. That I love it.
Yeah, it plays pretty well. Oh, quick build, it works for upgrades as well, by the way. So if you're on a tile that's already built, it will switch to the upgrade tool. I use it all the time now. I barely ever select things from the menu. Speaking of which, I'm going to have to select something now.
Yeah, by the way, guys, both 4.1 and 4.2 are speedrunnable. So the quick build tool is probably a little tip for you to save seconds.
Yes. Of course.
The speedrunners will all be using the keyboard shortcuts.
Nerds.
So yeah, there's a bunch of new little bits of quality of life stuff. I'm sure there's other things I've forgotten as well, but they're the ones I wanted to highlight. All right.
Yeah, I'm assuming while you're away, you showed the rotating camera.
Yeah, I showed that.
Yeah, long request.
Worried about that a little bit because, like, placing things on some of the levels, I'm sure people would have. Obviously, it looks best from a certain angle because that's the angle it's been decorated from.
No one cares.
It's actually
anyway. Moving on.
It's actually quite useful on one of the levels because there is a couple of awkward locations in one of the new levels. Looks like I'm about to die.
It does.
Sat there spinning on the spot. Yeah.
This is what happened to me when we did a live stream a couple months back, and we tried to do the same thing. I tried to play this level, and as soon as I had to talk, the quality of play went right down.
Yeah, I found this when I was streaming the third tier a couple of years ago now. I can't really talk and do stuff at the same time.
There was a streamer. That's not a stream. It was a show that I watched. Or it might have been a stream, but it was where they'd get professional StarCraft players in for an hour, and they'd have to play on League against other players. But they'd ask them loads and loads of interview questions whilst they were playing, and it's quite a skill to be able to, like, they'd play against someone that wasn't as good as them, but it would still get a little bit awkward because, like, they were trying to talk at the same time and talk about their career or whatever. Yeah, it's interesting how it uses up the same part of your brain.
To be honest, the big mistake was trying to complete the Hungry Spider level on stream while trying to interact with chat. That was never going to happen. Yeah.
I think it works okay if you talk about what you're doing.
Yeah, but when people are asking questions constantly.
Yeah. That's
and you're trying to be a good streamer, trying to interact with chat.
The Hungry Spider level now works with controller as well. I spent a while doing that one. The analog stick properly has full 360 degree operation, and you can walk slowly with the analog stick and fast with it as well.
You're dying on easy mode, LMAO.
Yeah. It's an important comment to
you
highlight.
Had a tack off.
Did you? Yeah. That's not gonna help.
Very good. Yeah, F's in chat for John's gaming
skills,
street cred.
You're not an editor, are you? You can't, like, just delete that beetle.
No, I'm
that's something we can do. Yeah, by the way.
In the editor.
Oh.
Yeah, the eagle-eye people spotted that in my little how to play as Fire Ants video yesterday. The Fire Ant Queen only has 5 queen tiles. And that's my fault. I just accidentally deleted them using the dev tools, just making a big load of ants to cheat for the sake of a video. I should have spotted that, to be honest, but yeah, whatever. It means people are paying attention, I guess. At least someone is.
Should we talk about the 2 different types of fire ants as well? Because you're going to have to make a decision as soon as you get into the game. So the 2 different types we've got, there's pervasive and vigorous. They're 2 very different things, and they affect your play quite dramatically. So a pervasive fire ant, I think it's currently set to 1.5 minutes on a tile. Once an egg's been on the tile for 1.5 minutes, it's free to hatch. So even when you get your whole army wiped out, in 1.5 minutes time, it'll all be back, even if you got no food. So it's really powerful effect, but vigorous is also powerful. So vigorous, when the ant is born, it gets a movement speed, attack speed, and a resistance buff. and it's quite noticeable. This demo level has vigorous, so you'll notice the fire ants are zooming about when they're first born. It lasts a couple of minutes, so the idea is that you use the ants, you get them killed, you get your next lot in those couple of minutes, and you keep it. It promotes kind of a very fast and furious fighting style, and that's how what we wanted to get across with the fire ants.
Very much
So we
a
had-
Fast and Furious 6 fighting style. Yes.
we like every group of ants has got two variations, right? And I think the fire ants are the most different so far. But I don't tell us what the other ones are, John. I know. Go on.
The leafcutters had taunt and stun. So taunt would attracts enemies to forces enemies to attack it, so it saves the other ants. They also have a slight heal when they do that as well. Stun stuns nearby enemies, but it can only affect smaller enemies. It doesn't really work on larger ones. So it was good against the army ants, for example, but it's not so good against large or very large enemies. And then there was rapid fire and mortar for the wood ants. So mortar is more of an AoE, slow firing. Rapid fire is more like a machine gun, so they always hit the target, but they don't necessarily stack so well when you've got a lot of them.
All right,
I never remember what the black ant one was.
We are rapidly approaching time now, guys.
John,
do you want to just very quickly, if you didn't while I was out the room, very quickly show Beth's new icons?
Yeah,
You forgot about that.
Yeah, do that, and then I'll start mixing up my fire in the swamp cocktail.
Fire in the swamp.
And yeah, just so, because people are going to start spamming release now. I'm not doing this to torture you for the last 10 minutes, making you watch me mix a cocktail. While I'm doing this, Liam and John are going to be doing the final things to set everything live. So that's what they're going to be doing while I'm being a silly bartender.
Some last minute bug fixes, last minute package,
quick build,
and then just check the levels.
Yeah, quick play.
10 minutes will be sorted.
Yeah. Well, we've got to play through the campaign again, you said. So,
unfortunately, I can only show these icons because the other ones are all hidden.
Yes, yeah. Just show the ones that you can.
Yeah. Where's the meat wall one? There it is. It's an ant being attacked by another ant and with its body. There's a very.
I don't remember what it looks like.
Ant.
There's a lag on the YouTube. I'm waiting for it to appear so I can snigger at it.
Self-preservation, self-repair.
Yeah. You'll see all these fantastic icons that Beth, our 2D person, has been working on the past few months. They're in the level. Right. Okay. John, set me front and center, and I will make myself a tasty beverage, whilst you and Liam go and set builds live.
Okay.
What do you call this? Is this like? Is it
cocktail hour with Mike? I don't know.
No. But when you do it on a stream.
Technically, I think you call it mukbang. No, it's not.
Mukbang, yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Eating, not drinking.
Or is it not drinking?
Yeah. Right. Okay, guys. So the fire in the water cocktail. Since this is not an age-restricted stream, this is going to be a mocktail or an alcohol-free cocktail, much to my chagrin. But when the stream ends, I'll probably do myself a proper one. Right. Okay. So this is a take on an American cocktail called Apple Pie on the Rocks, which is traditionally made with a cinnamon-flavored liqueur, apple juice, and a vanilla-flavored liqueur. But I'm adapting it slightly. So I am first going to grind up some sweets. These are Gray's herbal tablets, which anyone who grew up in the UK will know. I'm sure, apart from Matt, apparently. But I'm using this pestle and mortar here just to grind them into a powder.
I'm more interested in this than setting the game live.
I'll tell you why I'm doing this instead of just using sugar, because when I made my Ereptini back in 2017, I included mint as a little nod to the future to leafcutter ants, which of course gather leaves, and a nice sprig of mint in there was a little nod to them. So anyway, that's them bashed up. I have my cocktail shaker here. Back in 2017, again, I used a pint glass, but we've had some success with Empires of the Undergrowth, so I could afford the $19.99 from Amazon to buy one of these. Okay, so just some ice in there. Okay, so just 2 ingredients for this. I'm simplifying it. Here I have a cinnamon syrup, which I've put it into a maple syrup bottle we had, a maple-shaped syrup.
That's what it is.
Yeah, that's what it is. This is made quite simply by mixing sugar and water, boiling that down until it becomes like a caramel, and you get some nice colour on it, and also put cinnamon in there with it. And that's, I think I should say probably while I'm thinking about it, playing with heat and sugar is dangerous. If you're young, and make sure you've got an adult with you who knows what they're doing. Okay, so I've got my nice cinnamon syrup here, and I'm just going to I'll get a measure actually, just so I can be precise. From this cocktail kit, I'm going to put, I think about 60 millilitres of this syrup in there, which comes to 2 of these measures.
Didn't know what they measured before. That's good.
If you're a grown-up and you want a more grown-up beverage, I'm sure you can think of some cinnamon-based liqueur to replace this syrup with. Right. Okay. Now you need juice for this cocktail as well. In the traditional apple pie on the rocks that is based on, it's cloudy apple juice, which is entirely fine. But this cocktail itself is called Fire in the Swamp, which the swamp is represented by our cinnamon, and the swamp is represented by our green juice here. And this green juice is apple juice, pear juice, and matcha powder. That's what makes it green.
I thought it was swamp water.
That's the idea. Yeah. And there's also cucumber in here. This is just a pre-mixed juice drink I bought from a local supermarket. Just use cloudy apple juice and maybe a bit of green food colouring if you're bothered about the colour. I don't know. I don't care. Do what you like. Right, so I'm not going to measure that too much.
It's important. You've spent all this time designing it. It's very important.
I'm thirsty. Shut up. Right. Okay, right. So those are the 2 main ingredients now. But
This is what everybody came to see.
Bar stool here. Yes, this is. Everyone comes here.
It's what I came to see. This is the first bit that was planned.
User dropping. Right. So I've got a spoonful of my ground up herbal sweets here. And the reason I'm including these is there's a little hint to our next ants. I'm not going to say what they are yet because they've not been officially announced. I know some of you will know about the famous leak from last year, Liam. But
I don't know what you're talking about.
The reason I'm including these herbal sweets is that they've got a herbal, menthol, slightly medicinal, medical flavour here. Obviously, I can't put something like cough syrup in here. That medicated cough syrup wouldn't work. But a slightly medicine-tasting addition to this cocktail seems to make sense as a nod to the future. We'll talk properly about the next ant that will be coming out in the next few weeks, once we do another newsletter, after everything's died down from the Fire Ant update. So, proper cocktail shake.
Keep talking, Mike. We can't hear the shaking. Discord's filtering it out.
Yeah. Well done, Discord.
Yeah.
No, you're going to have the shaking. This is like ASMR, isn't it? Without that, it's...
Shaking my cocktail. Can you hear it now?
Yeah.
Hear it now, yeah. Shaking the cocktail. Right. Okay. And there we go. In it goes to my tall glass, including the ice, because it's summer and I'm warm. And we're a nature game. We like to think about the environment. So a steel straw, none of that plastic rubbish. And enjoy your fire in the swamp, ladies and gentlemen. Very sweet. I really wish that was whiskey in there. All right, we're coming up to time now, guys. Just 2 minutes. Just 2 minutes.
Right, what's the build number on this, John? Is it 3010?
2 or 30103 on Mac.
Ah, yeah, of course. If you're on Mac, you get the latest features.
Yeah, you get a couple more of Matt's optimizations.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, John, we had to put a stop on the build a couple of days ago for the sake of having everything definitely ready in time. But I'm pretty sure John will be doing like the first patch, including new stuff and bug fixes next week. I'd have thought.
Well, we'll see.
Or maybe
I'm
tomorrow.
not promising
morning, first
anything.
thing.
I'm not promising anything. Not at this point.
Gonna have a
We'll
nap.
see how we do.
Yeah, I need to sleep.
But guys, thank you very much for joining us. I'm going to enjoy my fire in the swamp. I might add a little something to it. I don't know.
Go.
You should be able to play the game.
Yeah, what are you
right?
still doing here?
Yeah, while you're
Sorry?
still here,
Why
it's
are you
launched,
still
go and
here?
play it.
Go
Go
play
and play
Fire
it.
Ants.
Right.
Ah!
Better get to it.
Thanks you three for joining me. That was a fun 45 minutes. It was a nice bit of levity after a really stressful few weeks.
Are we not live anymore?
We
Is
are
that
live.
gone?
live.
We are live.
We still
Oh
are.
right. I thought that was like the cool down chat.
debrief.
Afterwards. I was like, where's everyone gone?
Yeah, I'll end the stream in just a minute, but thanks very much. Honestly, from the bottom of our heart, guys, we know that our updates take a long time, but we think they're worth it, and most importantly, you do too. So we really appreciate you for that, and we'll see you next time, I
Discord.
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For more Empires
right.
of the Undergrowth.
I'm ending the stream
All
now.
right. All right. End stream. Bye.
Bye.